I don't think I'd be so brazen as to say to you, we were doing reality creation wrong. The way that you were manifesting is the wrong way of doing it. We weren't creating reality the way we're meant to. I would say to you instead, we were creating reality the right way for the false matrix. That really worked. When we were stuck inside the prison of the mind, because that's what the false matrix is, it's a mental realm. And it's an imprisonment, a frequency net, in fact, that casts us into the mental realm and prevents our transcendence of the mental realm. One of the tools used to keep humanity bound to the mental realm were words. It's why we call it spelling. Take the word morning. Good morning. Good morning. What happens when you go to a funeral or somebody dies? You go into mourning. When you're awake, you say, hey, good morning, I'm awake. When you go to a wake, you are attending the memorial. Again, this is all about death and funerals and dying. So look at the inversion, that the very words that we use to say, hey, good morning, I'm awake, are words that we use to describe grief and death. Our entire language is a language of the false matrix. So the tools that we were using in the false matrix were words. We thought in words. We would talk about using the power of our mind, the power of thought to create reality. So really what this was words spoken and unspoken. So when people use words to create, what they're using are the tools of the false matrix. Again, I'm not telling you it's wrong. I'm telling you it's right for the false matrix, but you don't belong in the false matrix anymore. You are in the process of ascension. You're in the process right now of shifting from one matrix to another. That's the false matrix into the divine matrix. The divine matrix is also known as the organic universe. The organic universe meaning God's original creation template. A lot of people don't like the word matrix. Again, here we go with words again. They go, oh, matrix is bad. I don't want to swap one matrix for another. We will always live in a matrix so long as we're individuated from God, because a matrix is simply a holographic reality field. This is where we go to have experiences. We can have very high frequency experiences in divine matrices. And of course, we can have the false matrix experience, which is the inversion that we've been living in. When we use words to create, we're using our mind to create, and we're operating inside the jail cell of the false matrix. So imagine then that you're sitting inside the frequency net or the invisible jail of the false matrix, and you've got a hammer and a chisel in your hand and you're creating away. You're creating reality. It's hard work to create anything. I'm in the process of building a house. Boy, it's been many, many months of having this house built. There's so many teething issues and things to go through, and it feels like a never-ending process. I'm creating something from nothing. This is what we think of when we're creating reality. A lot of effort. Even if that effort is, what's your thoughts, what's your thoughts, what's your thoughts, what we were really doing was creating a plaster or a band-aid to put over an existing wound. That's how reality creation worked in the false matrix. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I was in serious lack. I needed money. I was in a very desperate state. I would be in the resonance of lack, because that's how lack would have been manifest. So because I'm in the resonance of lack, what's going to happen is, without me even being aware of it, my thoughts are just going to naturally orientate towards describing the lack that I'm in, because that's what words do. Words are narrators. They describe reality. Reality is the energy. Words are the describers for the energy. So in this example, I'm in the energy or the resonance of lack. So now my words are just going to follow suit. My words are going to say things like, oh my God, I'm so scared. Life is difficult. I don't know what to do. I don't have enough. I need to save. I don't have enough to save. Da, 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 da. All of the words that are going to be describing lack. But now I've learned the tools of the false matrix to create a new reality. So when I'm conscious, which means I'm focused on creating reality. That means not when I'm dreaming, not when I'm sleeping, not when I'm showering, not when I'm snoring, not when I'm driving the car. In other words, not most of my day. Those few moments where I'm creating my reality, I'm now going to use words that sound a little something like this. Every day in every way, I'm more and more abundant. There's so much flow in my life and ease, and my bank account is bigger and bigger. And all of these inserted, that's what I'm doing. I'm inserting words into an existing energy. The words don't match the energy. The words are trying to elevate the energy that I'm in. But look at what my unconscious, subconscious is doing, because I'm in fear and I'm in lack. Actually, really and truly, that's where my reality is. So now I'm going to naturally orientate to that. And I'm probably going to get really frustrated because I won't understand why I'm failing to create the reality of abundance when I use all the right words and the right tools. When we live in the divine matrix, which we're in the process of doing, we're in the process of transitioning into a 5D world, which is a exquisite, it's a metamorphosis. But the metamorphosis happens in one moment. We call that moment the solar flash. But as we head towards that moment, we are transitioning and essentially living in two worlds. That's the world of the false matrix, as well as the access that we now have to the divine matrix as well. We now have both worlds available to us. That's why a lot of what we create is, even if we can create it, it's going to fall flat because you're creating inside the mental realm. Nothing in the mental realm is going to give you a feeling of fullness and a feeling of wholeness. As we transition into the divine matrix, we begin to access tools of alchemy. One of my favorite things to teach is alchemy. If you want to learn more about that, join the Plasma Light Tribe. That's where my teachings, the deeper level of teachings are. And it's in that space that I can guide you and take you a lot deeper. We do a lot of energy work there. So alchemy is the process of introducing a high frequency energy into the density. In other words, into a low frequency. When that happens, there's a natural discharge, a dissipation of the density. And at the same time, as the density is discharged, it is reabsorbed, alchemized, in other words, into the higher frequency. So the higher frequency becomes expanded, the higher frequency becomes more. Because we lived in an upside down, inverted world, we perceived reality exactly as it isn't. And that is, we believed that negativity could taint us. We never knew the power of our light. We never knew the power of beauty and light and love and how that cannot be corrupted and tainted. That is the stuff of alchemy. That's the stuff that actually dissolves darkness. We were so afraid to expose ourselves to darkness because we believed that darkness had so much power that it could corrupt light. So we simply didn't expose our light to our dark. Alchemy is what happens when you understand that light is light. Light cannot become unlight, what it is. But what it does do is it alchemizes darkness and density and confusion and suffering and trauma and pain and everything that is low frequency. So as we begin to wield the tools of alchemy, that happens because we're learning to connect to ourselves as vibratory fields instead of a sequence of words. If I ask you to describe yourself, most people are going to use words to describe themselves because that's natural. We've lived in the mental realm. That's how we described ourselves. As soon as we become more embodied into the divine matrix, we actually become more telepathic. And in that more telepathic state, we begin to speak in energy. And when we speak in energy, we feel our presence to another, or simply make our presence available to another. We stop trying to use the hammer and the chisel to create reality, and instead we allow light to come in. So we're now allowing reality instead of creating reality. It's very, very different. And as we allow light to come in, that light cannot be contained to the moment that we're in, nor can it be contained to the physical body. It leaks. Light leaks everywhere. It's messy, but it's beautiful messy because light expands. Its nature is to expand. So light's going to go ahead of you. That's what it does. Light will always journey into the path that lies ahead of you, as well as the past path that you've walked, as well as all the parallels beside you. Light leaks into all the places you cannot see. It goes ahead of you onto the path that you're walking, and it begins to clear the path that you're walking before your feet get there. The light does. And when that happens, it begins to dissolve the things that you were about to walk through, the difficulties that you were about to experience. And maybe by the time you get there, it's just taken the edge off, or maybe it's dissolved it completely to the point that you won't even be aware of whatever disturbance you were going to walk through. The light goes before you. Trust your light. To trust your light, you've got to know your light. To know your light, you've got to connect. You've got to spend time experiencing your presence. When you do this, you're making it easier and easier to move into the non-linear world. The world that exists outside of words is the world of energy. That's the world of the divine matrix. When you live in that world, you don't have to continue our example, you don't have to create abundance. You are abundant. You would never think to create what you are because you already are that thing. So when you're in a higher frequency, the higher truth of who you are, it's not because you're trying to override a lower truth. It's because you've alchemized the lower truth into the only available option that lack can become when you're in higher frequency, which is abundance. And as that occurs, it would never dawn on you to say things like, I'm abundant, I have enough, every day and every way, I just keep getting more and more, or being more and more, or my bank account is growing. It would just become so obvious that your words would begin to describe the energy that you're in. Instead of using words to create reality, reality begins to create words. Reality, in other words, energy precedes the words. The energy comes first. Look at how we were taught to create reality, not with energy, but rather through the mental realm. And yes, words can be very powerful, but I would way rather empower the words with my energy. We did this really powerful process in the Plasma Light Tribe. No, actually it wasn't. It was in the Galactic Ground Crew. So they're a portion of the Plasma Light Tribe that works at a much higher level. And in the Galactic Ground Crew, this was a couple of weeks ago, we did this beautiful process of connecting to our name. There's another word that we believe describes us. We believe that our name defines us. We look at, and I'm sure you've done it, right? You've looked at your name in a naming dictionary and you've said, oh, my name means XYZ. And now what you've got is a word that defines you. Instead of you defining the word, you must define your name. You must bring energy to your name. Then you don't have to rename yourself. There's this tendency in the spiritual community to disown our names, because we don't like what they mean or we don't like the vibration, instead of realizing that we're here to empower the vibration. Here's an example as I speak to you about how we've been so manipulated in the false matrix. This was a long time ago. This was maybe more than a year ago, a couple months back even. I was drinking water. There's a barcode on my bottle. Now, granted, I know it's plastic. Don't judge me. I don't normally drink from plastic, but it's sparkling water and I like sparkling water. Anyway, barcode. And I'm drinking the water. Somebody sees the barcode. It was a glass bottle. Oh, Kerry, you're saved by the glass bottle. And somebody's like, oh my God, oh, Kerry, barcode, don't do it. You know, that's creating a resonance for your water. Yes, I get that in the false matrix. I get how in the false matrix, everything defines me. My name defines me. The barcode on my water defines me. My clothes define me. My words define me. I don't, because I don't have power in the false matrix. But in the divine matrix, guess what I do? The moment I hold my water, I impregnate my water with light, with 5D frequency. That begins to alchemize any ill intention from the barcode or anything else or anywhere else. We're so indoctrinated in the false matrix to empower the external world. We had no power in our internal world. So now we have to learn how to be in our internal world, who we are inside of our internal world. We didn't use our creative power. We used words. When we allow light to come in, we allow reality to show itself to us. And that's why, in case you ever wonder, you probably have seen it in the comments section, the Plasma Light Tribe, we always ask each other this question: how good can it get? That's one of the teachings of the PLT. How good can this get? Because when we ask that question, what we're doing is we're bringing light in with that question. It's a genuinely curious question. How much light can I see? How many miracles can I witness? How much beauty, how much love can I withstand? How good can this get? That's a question That an alchemist asks, when an alchemist looks at reality and brings light in and empowers that light to create beauty, because you are the light and your nature is beauty and your nature is abundance. But how will that beauty and how will that abundance take shape? I don't know. Here's an example. I'm really looking forward to traveling. I haven't traveled in a very long time. Got this little travel bug that's itching me lately. So in the false matrix, what am I going to do? I'm going to pick a destination and create travel, travel, travel using all the words. Maybe I'll vision board it. Maybe I'll make pictures of a plane, da da da. But it's me creating in the mental realm, if that's what I was doing. When I have this little niggle in the divine matrix that I want to travel, I bring the feeling of freedom and joy and excitement and being with my family and the incredible experience, the feeling of the experience. I bring it in. I don't put words to it. I just bring in the feeling and I sit with it for a little moment and then I let it go. I don't do this every day. I don't do this 25 times a day. I don't do this over and over again. I do it normally just once and I let it go. Because when you let light go, it goes into the path ahead of you. And then when I stumble onto that path and suddenly I have maybe an invitation to go somewhere, or I have doors open to me, or I have this amazing opportunity presented to me, it's going to serve my highest good in a way that I can't ask for, in a way that my words could never describe, in a way that my brain could never even think to ask for. That's what I'm transcending. When I transcend words, I'm transcending the limitation of the words. I'm not letting the words define my reality anymore. I'm allowing my energy to create the reality that I can't even dream of. That's the reality that I want. The reality that is so much light, so much love, so much beauty that my brain can't even conjure it. Because then I'm operating at a level that has transcended where my brain can go. And that's what we're here to do. Notice how much we've got to control and dictate in the false matrix. There's a lot of effort there. Notice how much we have to allow in the divine matrix. There's a lot of freedom there. There's a lot of ease there. And just yesterday, I put out a newsletter about ease. And I said, guys, there's a new challenge in the spiritual community. And guess what it is? It's harder than all the control and all the work, do that we were doing in the false matrix. This is now how much ease can you allow? And guess what's going to happen when you bring ease in? All of the contradictions, the unworthiness is going to start coming up. And all of the struggle is going to start coming up. And when it comes up, what is it doing? It's coming up to be released. It's coming up to be discharged. And as the discharge happens, more light occurs, more ease occurs. This is a new way of being. And we're ready for it now. We're ready to embrace it now. And yes, you're going to fall back. You will. You're going to fall back into the false matrix. Words will define you, or you'll slip and fall, metaphorically, or you will stumble and fumble. All of these things are okay. I just want you to understand where you're going and what else you are. From my heart. All the way into yours. So much love. I know you feel it.